So good morning, everyone. So now we'll start our first roundtable, which is entitled Democratizing Advanced Technology in Latin America. And so this session is dedicated to a dialogue on the barriers, strategies, and sustainability models to advanced imaging access across the region. We will discuss topics that include infrastructure models, open hardware, sustainability, policy advocacy, and innovative funding mechanisms. The participants will explore strategies for resource sharing and technology adoption. Open exchange period allows the audience to participate and have a regional perspective. So please participate and ask questions. So we have here today, it's a pleasure to have Carolina Peréz from the Dirección, Nacional de Infraestructuras de Investigación Científico-Tecnológicas da Secretaría de Innovación, Ciencia e Tecnología. Juliana, vou falar em português, do LNBio, do CNPEM, do Centro Nacional de Pesquisa de Energias e Materiais no Brasil. Sergio Dehner, da Bio-Ingeniería. E Francesco, Mattia, Rossi, do FALAN, da Faculdade de Ciências, Kildare, no Uruguai. Entonces, let's start with Carolina has a presentation. So, please, Carolina.
Hello. Good morning for everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I thanks.
Is it working?
Okay. I thanks Leah and all the organizer committee for this invitation. So I'm going to start to run with my presentation. Well, the topic of this roundtable, I want to say something about the national system, which is an initiative created in 2008 with the creation of microscopy national system, and their principal objectives are to coordinate efforts and promote the efficient use of physical resource, optimize the operation, and facilitate the opening of their service to the scientific community and the productive sectors. With more than 10 years of operations, I want to highlight some of the more important results of this initiative, which are this national system made the use of large scientific equipment more efficient and productive and accessible. They promote a new form of collaborative work between institutions, and they mark the beginning of a cultural shift in the share of use equipment. The most important tool of this result is the shift managed system, as we call Sistema Nacional de Turnos, or SGT, which is a system for managing the activity of equipment and allows measured time of use and the availability of the equipment. From the roles of the administration, they can configure the laboratories, the schedule time, and condition of use. From the roles of the user, which is open for everyone who wants to use this type of equipment, they can switch the equipment which suits for their needs from a map or a forming list, and they ask an appointment very easily. So now we are working in a new approach of the national system, opening to the all of kind of infrastructures, such as scientific and technological research infrastructure, which include larger scale and strategic equipment, scientific and technological facilities, and larger scale of scientific research instruments. This is why, because in the last 4 years, the Ministry of Science, at that time, now we are a secretariat, have improved a program which called Equipar Ciencia program, who purchase a large type of equipment. We need to incorporate almost 500 equipment from different types. So it's important to change the approach of the program to make it to achieve to all the type of equipment. Now talking about specifically of national microscopy system, I want to show you some of the effort of almost 20 years, we have incorporated to the system almost 200 equipment from different types, as you can see, and 252 microscope that has to be incorporated, which I purchased it through the Equipar Ciencia program. Now I show you these graphics that shows the different type of equipment that now are in the system, and you can use it through the SGT. And these are the types of different microscopes that are buying through Equipar Ciencia program. And the last slides, I want to show in the last 10 years the use of the equipment through SGT, like requests, users, and hours. I think that this tool is very important for all the system and for all the type of equipment, because it is accessible for everyone. Of course, we have to work very hard in improvement of the systems. It's very old for the new technology, and open it to all the type of research infrastructures. And I think that the collaborative way to work is the most important to achieve that objectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolina. So now I'd like to ask our panelists to give a brief 30 seconds introduction of what you do or your institution and what the projects that are currently involved. So, Juliana.
So, I am Juliana Oliveira. I am leader of division in LNBio. It's Brazilian Bioscience National Lab. And it's at CNPEM, the Brazilian, the Center for Research in Energy and Materials, where we have the series.
Sergio.
Buen día a todos. Bueno, mi nombre es Sergio Dehner. Trabajo en Bio-Ingeniería en el área de servicio técnico y representamos a SAIS acá en Argentina.
Okay. Francesco.
Hi, my name is Francesco Rossi. I'm here as chair of the executive committee of FALAN, that is the Federation of Neuroscience Societies of Latin America and the Caribbean. And I'm also a neuroscientist at the Faculty of Sciences in Montevideo, Uruguay.
Okay, thank you. So then we'll start a very brief or quick round of questions to each one of the panelists. So we'll start with Juliana. Could you talk a little bit more about the projects that you have in LNBio, specifically the Orion project, right? Which is a world-class investment in bioimaging, integrating synchrotron light with biosafety level for laboratories. And so from your experience, how do you balance the ambition of being a global reference with the responsibility of democratizing the technology for Brazilians and Latin American researchers and that do not have access to this type of technology? How do you see that?
So, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here talking about LNBio and CNPEM. And the CNPEM's mission is exactly to provide scientific advanced technologies with our facilities are open. We don't have charts for academic users. So we believe that this is very important for democratizing science. So in our mode of operation in LNBio also, and Orion will be the same way. And we are doing other things to democratize science and also for inclusion to reach other regions, mainly in Latin America. So we have financial support for users abroad, São Paulo State. And some examples, we have more than 10 different proposals from Argentina at LNBio, only at LNBio, so we are very happy. And we believe that these financial support are very important, and also we are doing calls directed to areas from north of Brazil. For example, we launched a call last year to provide biomolecules, oligonucleotides, for these regions. That is a very important material to do science, a good science, right? And label materials, label oligos, fluorescent oligos. So our proposal is exactly this, to democratize the science, and we believe that the partnership with LABI is very important also for Latin America.
Yeah, just a bit of context. So LNBio is, they already built a generation 4 synchrotron, and now the Orion project will integrate a biosafety level 4 laboratory with the synchrotron. So we'll be able to perform experiments that we were never able to do it before. Yeah. But this leads also to, so it's a terrific model for the different countries, but also requires a massive investment, right? Yeah. So how do you think that LNBio and the model that you are developing could serve not only as a cutting edge infrastructure, but also to as a catalyst to elevate the research within the region?
Yeah, we believe that we're doing trainings, receiving people, users, and also participating in these partnerships like LABI and GBI. So Tainá, that is our scientist from Bioimaging Lab at LNBio, that is here with us. She went to the training the trainer, and she is now training the users of LNBio. And we believe that in this way we can propagate and knowledge.
Okay. Thank you, Juliana. So I have a question to also to Sergio. So from the industry perspective, so Zeiss and other companies, we know that they recognize that Latin America is an important partner. But the companies also know that we have unique problems, and sometimes sustainability comes as a main barrier here. So beyond the traditional equipment sales model that we already are familiar with, what strategies you think that the industry may apply to explore and make advanced technologies accessible to our region?
Bueno, desde Zeiss consideramos sí que Latinoamérica es un mercado muy importante que está creciendo y se está consolidando, sobre todo con esta red de LABI. Estamos al tanto de las dificultades económicas que eventualmente atraviesan por cada uno de los países, y para lo cual Zeiss, bueno, eventualmente va evaluando las oportunidades y tratando de adaptar los presupuestos o las condiciones para cada equipo en particular.
Okay. So in the follow-up questions, so there's some tension between institutions that want to have access to cutting-edge instruments, right? And the realities of maintenance, consumables, training, technical support, etc. So how the industry can work with networks like LABI to provide support to those areas?
El tema de mantenimiento o la postventa es un punto muy importante, sobre todo en la gama de equipos que componen la red de LABI, que son equipos de alta gama. Por suerte, bueno, la tecnología ha ido mejorando y ya hay muchos equipos que la cuestión de mantenimiento de partes se ha reducido significativamente. Y por otro lado, Zeiss también colabora entrenando a técnicos de cada país para tener que, en lo posible, un técnico de forma local. y evitar gastos, digamos, de tener que traer a alguien del exterior. Así también hay soporte postventa monitoreado directamente desde Alemania, que no tiene costo para los equipos. No todos aplican, pero bueno, muchos de ellos sí. Y bueno, hacemos lo posible para estar junto a los investigadores todo el tiempo, que sabemos que hay oportunidades en las cuales hay fondos que normalmente son para comprar los equipos y muchas veces no hay fondos para repararlos o para el service. En ese sentido, SAES también acompaña a los investigadores, eventualmente dando descuentos especiales o hasta incluso repuestos sin costo. Y bueno, los mantenimientos eventualmente también son sin costo. Pero bueno, así estamos. Sí.
Okay, so moving forward, so I have a question to Francesco. So, as president of FALAN, you have this this continental perspective of the needs of the neuroscience within the region, and we know that neuroscience also need a lot of advanced equipment, from MRIs to photon microscopy. So, how do you see the main bottlenecks? What limits advancing neuroscience within the region, considering our infrastructure and the gaps that we have, technology gaps that we have in the region?
All right. Okay. First of all, I should make it more clear what is FALAN, which is just a federation that gather society of neuroscience. So let's say we don't have our own funding, so we apply to calls, regional and international calls, to develop our activities, and as many of us. And okay, so just to comment also that we recently organized, promoted and participated in a survey here through our members on the needs and difficulties to develop neuroscience in Latin America mainly, and technology limitation was one of the main. I think we had kind of 20% agreed that technology was a strong limitation, 80% completely agreed on this. So it is clear that it's quite a strong limitation for us. So in this, I had to write something here. So there is a lot of gap. What can we do? I don't know. We may talk about this later or now. But there were other questions in this survey. That was how could this technology be incorporated? Which strategies can be used and besides funding, okay, there were different ideas, and we are doing a little bit, mainly from mainly meetings and to discuss policy advocacy and this kind of initiative and workshops, and we are organizing next year a congress where we will have a few sessions on this, and also on technologies in general, microscopy and other activities, and yes, and this is, I mean, we also try to organize what is the actual situation of technologies in general, not only imaging technologies in Latin America, so to have kind of map of the resources and the facilities that are available in Latin America, and facilitate resource sharing and so on. And this is under construction, of course. And this kind of initiatives, of course, are super important. I'm, of course, super interested in many, in discussing with many of the people participating in this meeting, so to share ideas and eventually develop something else.
And how scientific society and networks like LABI can learn with FALAN to advocate, to play a role to defend more investment and in shared infrastructure?
Well, how? In this way, this is the answer, I suppose. And I'm learning. I'm going to learn a lot from many people here. And the federation is it's a federation of societies. So it's already an achievement, I believe, that is not always very easy to gather societies together, because when in each lab it's always the same. You work for your own research project, and then you have 5% of your time that you dedicate to build something more institutional and so on. And this is a difficulty, I suppose. And the other is again, that there are different initiatives. And in Latin America, I'm discovering, I'm realizing that there are very many initiatives, and regional level and also a global level. Here we are in imaging, in the imaging world, let's say, but there are many others. And even around the imaging world, there are a lot of different initiatives, and gather together these people is super important. And so keep working like this, and keep discussing, and try to find some common strategies, some common strategies. See.
Any comment on the panelists? Questions from the audience? Yeah, Lionel.
Thank you. Well, I have a question for Carolina. Thanks to be here. Well, my question is: we all know that national systems were one of the most important projects and ideas that had the other government, but unluckily, let's say, we don't have grants. We are not having grants for the last 2 years. We don't have money to buy equipments, even replacement parts for our equipments nowadays. So my question is, what are the plans for the next 2 years regarding national systems?
Well, I know that, and it's not a very good situation. We are clear. I work from the initiation in the Secretary in the initiation of the national system. Now I'm very excited, and I expect that with the budget for 26, we can open the lines of de financiamiento que estaban antes. Lo digo en castellano porque me va a resultar más fácil expresarlo. Hemos hecho un pedido importante de financiamiento para el próximo año. Hoy no te puedo dar una respuesta. Como sabrán, también han habido cambios en el gabinete, que eso a nivel político todavía no sé qué impacto tendrá en la Secretaría. Sí, las propuestas se hicieron. Ahora es importante comenzar a relevar todo el equipamiento que se compró con Equipar Ciencia, saber en qué estado está. Sabemos que tampoco se compraron lo que inicialmente se había pedido, con lo cual también es importante relevar con el formulario de adhesión, que estamos trabajando, digamos, en algo nuevo que también permita vincularlo con el mapa de servicios, y en base a eso empezar a poder tener estas líneas de financiamiento como estaban en su momento, y quizás tener alguna que sea para algún tipo de equipamiento estratégico, por algún tema específico, que son los temas prioritarios que éramos la Secretaría, que son salud, agroindustria, minería, pero un poco es en esa línea. Lamentablemente hoy, desde mi lugar, digamos, no puedo dar ninguna confirmación. Sí que el pedido presupuestario efectivamente se hizo, pero bueno, va a estar atado a la aprobación del presupuesto en cuanto asignen, pero digo, desde el lado de las autoridades políticas sí reconocen la importancia de los sistemas nacionales, la importancia de los equipos, y también es algo que, digamos, que es mi intención y que venimos planteando también la importancia de actualizar el sistema de gestión de turnos, porque eso también permite que las inversiones también sean estratégicas, porque si uno puede demostrar que el equipo está abierto y que se usa, ayuda a fundamentar esa inversión o esa posibilidad de financiamiento.
Leo.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the participant of the table. I have like 3 reflections, maybe 1 question. So one thing is regarding something that Claire mentioned in her talk, and I think, speaking about democratization and taking advantage of opportunities that we have for collaborating in Latin America, stressing the opportunities of imaging for all for Latin American cooperation, I think is very important. Me as a representative of LABI in GBI, when I saw the first statistics about how was distributed the assignment of grants to go from Latin America to North mainly, I saw this as a failure. It's a really great opportunity. I'm not blaming anybody that take advantage to go to North when specific techniques are required, but I am truly convinced, as Claire mentioned, that in Latin America there are fantastic technologies, fantastic imaging scientists with capabilities in place to lead research at global standards, right? Without competing with anybody, right? And I also see this as a great opportunity for collaboration with other networks as Francesco represents here, right? So there are facilities. LABI is in position to show everybody where are those facilities. We have already represented over 70 centers with state-of-the-art technology here and there. We are able to make that connection, and I think the engagement with FALAN and other scientific communities are key. LABI is in the position to demonstrate that. And this moves me to the next reflection, which is how we collaborate also with the industry. Sergio is here, behind me is Rupert, and I know that is Leica and other representatives here. So we are all knocking the door once in a while for a course, for an organization, for a problem with reparation. When we have regional representatives that cannot support the instrument that they sell in Latin America, this is also a matter of LABI, how LABI can put together people and complain in a gentle way, but in a strong case, to say, well, we are here, we buy instrumentation, we deserve the same treatment that anybody has in the global north. So I think, again, LABI is in the position to speak with all regional representative and international representative to make easy their life, to make simple and avoid, over, knocking the door or, overwhelming all of you asking for money for organization of meeting and etc. So I forgot the question, but it was something that I wanted to say.
I couldn't agree more, Lionel. We so far really have a neurocentric model in the Imaging for All program, but I think that global bioimaging is also, so Claire may make a comment on that, but I think that global bioimaging is worried about that. It's for the success of the program. It's better that we have more opportunities everywhere, right? Otherwise, we just repeat. It's another program that adds more to the programs that already exist. I couldn't agree more. And I think that from the LABI perspective, as you mentioned, so we have the infrastructure, the connections, and we can work very well as facilitators in these connections, right? We just have to structure our framework so that we have sustainability so that we can keep our programs running. So any comments from the panelists?
No, it's just a comment, but as an example that I lived in these last few years as president of the executive committee of FALAN, that is we are member of the International Brain Research Organization, and we started to use the word FALAN is the hub of neuroscience in Latin America. Okay, but this is important for a funding organization or partners, so on, to have one contact, not only one contact, but one contact as the federation, which can share the information for funding or whatever to many other members, instead of having many different contacts, let's say each one of the Society for Neuroscience, that is still occurring, of course. So I believe in LABI, perhaps in the world of imaging, could or should be this hub for imaging in, I mean, I'm not really in this network. I don't know the policy, the politics here, how is organized really, but LABI or this network, the Latin American Brain Imaging Network, should present himself as this, the hub for imaging in Latin America. So to facilitate, I mean, it's just a parallelism with what is happening for neuroscience. And that's it. It was a comment.
I totally agree. LABI has been very essential for us from LNBio. So we arrived last year, more or less, in this community, and you receive us very, very nice, very well. And now we are increasing the team, so we are doing the trainings. Now we have here Elaine and Umberto that are researchers from Orion project. So they are doing new technologies for Orion, and they will present here. So I believe that this community is very, very important for Latin America and CNPEM.
Okay, so then I have a last question for all the panelists. So what do you consider the most critical and structural barrier to democratizing advanced technology within the region? So everything counts, like funding, we already know, but other things, business models, interactions with the companies, how we connect better laboratories, how do we exchange experiences within Latin America? So what do you think about it?
Well, I think that one problem, speaking for Argentina from my point of view, I think the change of governments sometimes affects the policy, the strategical policy, and that is a barrier for democratizing science. I think that is one of the problems. Obviously, budget is a big problem, and I think that one way of solution that maybe is started to signing memorandum of understanding from all the parts that integrate the national system, and this move has to be the long term, so the changes of the government can't affect that. This is my personal opinion.
I agree with you.
I can complement. I believe that the regional vision is very important to think in our problems, because no one will solve our problems, only us. So we need to be together, like LABI is an excellent example of this, because we need to do that. And I think that we need to have a strategic plan to have the equipment and the technology that we need here, right? As a community, think what the researchers need, what we need to do in strategic areas to have a good science.
Well, okay, there are at least two ways. One is to convince the government, the regional government altogether, which is a very hard way, because it's already very hard to convince one own government to support, let's say, something, science. In Uruguay, we have just now strikes and so on for reducing the investment in education and, of course, in research. And the other are other kind of initiative, which is everyone fight for its own country, its own lab, its own world, a relatively small world, and try to democratize through these networks, the access to facilities and so on, which, I mean, we can try to do both in parallel. The first one has always been quite hard. I think Argentina is a very good example, not now, but eventually. And Brazil is I don't know much, but there are islands of very nice places with a lot of technologies. And okay, Uruguay is very small, but the strategy to the Mercosur, I don't know, there was the FOSEM one, the grant, and it is still working, I suppose, for some kind of project or initiatives and so on. But I think we should try to work on both strategies. Support the institution with more funding to obtain huge materials and technology, and find a grant to support people from all over the region to access these same technologies on the other way.
Okay, thank you. So I have to wrap up here, we're running out of time. I just wanted to make a very quick comment. One thing that I think that Latin America is getting stronger and stronger is in open science. So we have a lot of groups that are able to produce their own instruments, to readapt old instruments, even if it's a different instruments, not a microscope, but they use lasers that were previously used in gene sequencing, for instance. And this is something that is growing a lot in our community. A number of light sheet microscopes were already built within Latin America. We just saw the example with Fernando Stefani. So I think that this is something that we should keep in mind. In our region, there's a lot to discuss it, to exchange in this regard. Sorry, I didn't see you. Yeah, okay, so last question.
No, it's just a little comment. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to add something to what Claire and Lionel just said about trying to improve Latin America connection. I don't know if LABI can, in order to have more visitors inside the region, could be helpful to have like kind of financial support to the hosting institutions to support visitors, something like that. I don't know if possible to have something like that in order to cover expenses and very simple supplies to receive more students in our labs now that we have a very critical situation.
Well, within the Imaging for All program, there is, right? Within LABI, we don't have it, but this is something that it's in our radar. It all comes down to funding, right? But definitely it all with Imaging for All, it depends on the structure that you have, on their size, and how the laboratory or the center will be classified to receive people. There are different levels, as Claire just mentioned. I think it's 10K and 20K, right? Depending on the position, and that's basically it. Yeah, Lionel?
Despite that LABI doesn't have now resources, we benefit from the CCI grant, for exchanges that work for training, that then kick off collaborations, right, and things like that. But despite also of Imaging for All, la UNOM-BioLAC, la Academia Latinoamericana de Ciencia, and the Company of Biologists, they are all opportunities that support for exchanges. They are not huge, probably for a few $1,000s, but at least cover the expenses for traveling and some expenses for experiments.
So we have to wrap up, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our panelists.